Welcome to Rapid Harmony. I'm Kyle Emmanuel Brown. This is a space for high-achieving souls who want more than outcomes. You want resonance, you want truth, you want a life that moves with purpose instead of pressure. Here, we explore success with the soul and direction with depth. We slow things down just enough to hear your own wisdom again. We breathe, we question, we remember the part of you that never needed permission to leave. Every conversation is an invitation to trust yourself more than the noise around you, and live from that clarity that rises when you stop forcing and start listening. Take a breath, settle in, let's begin. So Andy, why do you think so many smart, spiritual high achievers are doing everything right to manifest what they want, yet their life still feels like a grind instead of a game?
They are, the key word there is grind. If
Right.
you're grinding it out, you should, and that's the other thing about high achieving spiritual people who want to get things done. And I've been there. I've been that guy. And you're forgetting to enjoy the journey. And you've got to find the fun now, not once you arrive at that destination. I've been there, done that.
I love that. I've got this vision that's popped into my head, which is you finish everything up on life. You get to the pearly gates. You're sitting around with all your friends, which also the same vision could be you finish up the bong hit on planet Earth. You come back out of it. Your friends are like, so what was it like? Whoa. How was the food? How was the connection? Well, tell me about the fun. And you're like, well, I was just trying to get back here. And they're like, dude, you waited like 2 million years to take this rip off of this, pearly gate bong to experience Earth School. Why did you not enjoy it?
Oh, yeah. So that's a big thing I've been learning is to really enjoy it and take those bong hits. No.
Earth bong hits.
Bong hits.
It's not a drug. It's just awareness that you're inhaling.
Yeah. The awareness that like right now is the magic. This moment, this conversation, it's here. It's not in some further destination down the road. And so the grind, I think, there's been a lot more conscious evolution in our thinking and understanding. Like you don't have to grind, but that was what we were bought and sold in the 1900s. It's like you got to grind it out. And now we know about alignment. We know we have a higher self. And so it's learning to turn the mundane into magic and to love the moments, to love the challenges, because that's where the juice is.
I love it. I love it. Well, if you're listening at home, have you ever noticed that the harder you try to manifest, the further it seems to run away? And what if the fastest way to create what you want is to stop gripping so tight and start laughing at the story you're living in? So most high achievers treat manifestation like it's work. More effort, more tension, more control. And in this episode, what we do is we flip the script and we explore how more fun, laughter, and a better story can shift your vibration and open new possibilities. So my guest today, my brother, Andy Dooley. He is a manifestation coach, a spiritual comedian who believes that awakening shouldn't feel like punishment. He's the co-founder of TUT.com and the creator of the Manifestors Cafe. Andy is known for blending deep neuroscience and metaphysics with a lot of laughter, helping people stop overthinking and start receiving. So please welcome the man who is 90% Zen master and 10% guy who yells at his GPS, Andy Dooley.
Thank you, Kyle.
Andy, so good to have you here.
You too.
Andy, well, before vibration activation and the art of spiritual comedy, who were you? And what was life like in those early days?
Great question. Back in the earlier days, I'm the youngest of three, and I was that fun, spontaneous, creative kid. And I, was always out playing and goofing off, and life was magical. I think a lot of us can relate to that time in life. But then as I got into high school and getting serious and the grades, and you got to go to college and you got to do the things, you start getting molded into, more thinking, less play. You got to get serious. And then I got really serious once I got out of art school. I went to art school, which was amazing.
Right.
And then, I started the t-shirt business with my mother and brother. And then I got all serious, entrepreneur, listening to Tony Robbins. And I got to do my affirmations every morning. And I didn't do my affirmations today. What's wrong with me? And I got really serious. Like I have a story about, I had this serious problem. And one night I went to this improv comedy show in Orlando, SAC Comedy Lab. And I was blown away. I was like, oh my God, this is joy, spontaneity, creativity. Like, this is what I want. This is what I've been missing. And then at the show's intermission, they made an announcement that would change my life forever. The host of the show came out and said, hey, if you think this looks like fun, you're right, it is. And we teach classes. If you like to learn to improvise and be funny, sign up after the show. And I was like, no way, this is a scam. You can't teach people this. This is a scam. So I went up to the box office, asked for the manager, and I signed up for classes.
Oh, amazing. Amazing. Yeah. And at what point did you realize that sense of humor isn't just entertainment, but it's actually a healing tool?
Yeah, you hear about, laughter is the best medicine. And then you realize after you have a serious problem and you're taking things so seriously and stressing out and losing all my hair, you realize, oh, wow, laughter really is relief. It's medicine. It really does shift your point of attraction, your energy. And so, there's all the science behind it. And it's like, then I started to learn, I can make people laugh. I got into Toastmasters, and then I learned kind of the art of storytelling, comedy, and I started winning contests, and people started saying, you should teach classes. And I'm like, me? I'm just beginning, but like, no. So I started teaching, and that's how kind of coaching started for me. And then I got into life coaching, but at first I was like a speaker, storyteller, coach for people.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And so you're going through this journey and you did your things on your checklist, your thoughts become things, and understanding, all of these processes, but it was all still about living in the future. Right. Do you remember the moment where it stopped being some nice phase for you or phrase that you were saying, but it was like, this is now embodied truth?
I don't know that there was a specific moment, but I know from just doing all the spiritual work and listening to back then in the day, it was cassette tapes and Nightingale Conant with all their programs, and the internet really wasn't there yet. And I just, I think I realized it was in a relationship where, I really slowed down, and I was like, oh, love, and like slowing down and being present with her and feeling that love. And then going through heartbreak because it didn't work out. And then, you just those heartbreak and those heartbreaking moments really help you pull back and go, wait a minute, because I wanted to become the next world champion of public speaking. That was my goal. Ooh. And I was entering all the contests, and every year I could get to district level, but I never got past districts and Toastmasters. And then one year, like, it all came crashing down on me where I didn't win the contest. I'd started another business after t-shirts, lost $100,000. The relationship failed. My back went out. I was in pain, having the world's biggest pity party in my bed, blaming everybody else except myself. And I really had to reflect on, wait a minute, I thought I figured it out, but it's me. I'm the problem. And I got to slow down, and I got to learn to enjoy this journey instead of striving for all these things. So it was a real check-in when all that came crashing down at one time. It was, my dark night of the soul, so to speak. Right. And that was kind of like the rebirth of, I got to really enjoy this and stop waiting to get somewhere to feel better.
Oof. You hit two words that high achievers always put in the future, because we are taught speed of implementation always wins in business. And it's the word slow down. And also, it's on the other side of enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is fast. When we meet someone that we're vibing with really high, like you and I have just this like huge joy for life.
Yeah.
It's like two little kids in a play, but in a sandbox going, let's go. But that centering and slowing down, which for you, the precipice was that dark night of the soul. So how do you find yourself slowing down these days when you're also still following your enthusiasm?
Yeah, through, the practices of meditation and breath work. And, I have different tools I've developed over the years for just stopping and grounding. It's like, wait a minute, I can feel myself. I'm so much more in tune with my emotions that I can feel when I'm stressing and pushing, that it's like, take a breath. It's okay. You're going to get there. You're pushing too hard. Get outside, take a walk, get grounded, drink some water.
I love it. So you're tuning in, and again, one thing that you and I share from that young age, you're like, yeah, and I was listening to stuff on tape. So I got introduced to Tony Robbins on tape, the full cassettes, when I was a little kid, and I was lifting weights in the basement. We had pictures of all these pretty girls up on the wall because my brother was 14.
Me
I
too.
was 6. And, Heather Thomas in the bikini sitting in the hot tub.
Right.
And I was like, okay, A plus B equals C.
Right.
Which means pick up heavy object, put it back down again. You can one day date one of those.
Right.
But while I was working out, I'm listening to Tony on tape. And I'm pushing and I'm going and I'm moving. And then the other side of it was I had the 2 woo-woo aunts. One who was a channel, and the other one's a Hawaiian shaman, Jinsen Jitsu, Reiki master.
That's amazing.
And they, at 12, took me to get whatever I wanted from a metaphysical store that was called,
you told me this,
Heaven on Earth, right? It's now called Soulscape out in San Diego. So I got Louise Hay's You Can Heal Your Life.
I love that.
And then I also got a copy of Animal Spirit Cards.
That's so cool.
You and I have a lot of synergy with that, with these kids who got introduced to interesting things. You went the route that you went, and you have a brother who also went the route of actually like, hey, I'm going to take this Louise Hay's stuff and I'm actually going to write for Hay House.
Yeah.
What was it like? I was, I call myself the psychedelic sheep of the family, right? Because I wasn't black sheep. I was so loved.
Yeah.
But I was also the weirdo. And you had at least 2 of you that were tapped into this. What was it like growing up having a partner in crime with Mike, who is into the same kind of stuff, and then also you being Andy?
Yeah, and I have an awesome sister, Amanda, and my mom. And my dad was a successful insurance salesman. Yeah. And so he picked me up from school, and he'd have Earl Nightingale playing in the car. And
wow. Yeah.
Brian Tracy. And I'd be like, who, what? And I was kind of interested, but I was like, turn that off. Like, I want to play the radio,
Right. We don't hear all the talking.
For that. And so having my mom was a big influence as well, because she introduced us to the Seth material, with Jane Roberts channeled Seth, just like Esther Hicks channels Abraham. And so that was really, hearing that concept that you create your reality. It's like, wow, like that was really cutting edge. It's still cutting edge for a lot of people.
Right.
And having a brother and a sister and a mother and a father who we were all kind of believing, that our thoughts do become things, and to visualize and to act as if. And then I found, I read Louise Hay's book. I read The Game of Life and How to Play It, and had affirmations in there. And I started saying affirmations, and then I started noticing like things were manifesting because I was saying them. And it was like, wow. And this was in high school. And I remember, I wanted to be popular and cool in high school and fit in. And I remember I visualized myself being invited to parties to be cool. Right. And I visualized crazy, outrageous. I remember I was saying, one day I'm going to walk into a party and everybody's going to start chanting my name. Dooley, Dooley, Dooley. I'm now junior in high school, and I walked into a party one night, totally forgot about that visualization. And somebody said, hey, look, it's Dooley. And then someone said, Dooley. And someone else said, Dooley. And then they go, Dooley, Dooley. And I'm like, no way, this shit works. Like,
amazing. As a junior in high school, to then have the click and awareness is amazing. And you've also got some cool exercises that people can do to, they're like, hey, this manifestation stuff is great, but it's not working for me. Tell me about the That's Right exercise.
Oh, this is great. I was inspired from improv comedy, because when you're doing improv comedy, The first time you put two newbies on stage and say, make up a scene, your suggestion is popcorn. They're like, ugh. And so a tool that comes from a book is called That's Right. So whatever your fellow improviser says, there's the yes and philosophy underneath. You yes and add to it. But then you also can do, that's right, we're going to have popcorn today. And then you would say, that's right, I love popcorn. That's right, we're going to watch a movie. So it's a way to get two people going on stage. And so then I thought, well, why not use that for rewiring your brain? So it's kind of like, affirmations on steroids where, to shift your energy, your point of attraction, because we're always vibrating a frequency. You have a signature frequency. And so easily we get stuck in frustration, overwhelm. It's not happening fast enough. You need to change your energy. So you say, that's right, I'm appreciating this moment. That's right. Things are working out for me. That's right. I'm focused on the positive. That's right. I'm telling a better story. That's right. I'm noticing evidence of things working. That's right. So it keeps you firing and wiring. And when, according to Abraham Hicks, if you hold a positive energy or focus for 68 seconds, it changes your frequency that you're broadcasting to the universe. And 68 seconds of that's right, that's right, that's right, that's right, is firing and wiring your brain. So you're literally creating new neural networks, which those thoughts then become beliefs, which then become a new emotion, then it becomes a new frequency that you're putting out to the universe. So I do this with my clients. Yeah. That's right, back and forth. We can jam right now and just that's right.
That's right.
Gratitude. So that's right. I'm grateful to be in the studio with you.
Well, that's right. I am so happy that you're interested in so many of these things that I'm interested in because it creates beautiful alignment.
That's right. I love that feeling of alignment.
That's right. I love going and hearing Abraham Hicks talk because, wow, it's magical.
That's right. And I love that millions of people are waking up every day.
That's right. And I love that we get to serve as a bridge for them.
That's right. I love that people are going to be tuning in and watching this and using some of these tools.
That's right. I love that the person listening right now is going, hey, is he talking about me? And the answer is, that's right.
That's right. You can literally rewire your brain by starting each sentence with the words, that's right.
And tonight, when my wife says, what's for dinner? I'm going to say, that's right. We're going to make sure we've got something good for everybody.
That's right. I love a healthy, delicious meal.
That's right. I'm very curious. How did you get introduced to Abraham Hicks' work?
I was introduced. I was at a Seth conference, and I said, I love Seth, and I was doing Tony Robbins hardcore, and I said, well, who's the new Seth? Because Jane Roberts passed, and I said, who's the new Seth? And they all said, Abraham. And I was like, I'll check it out. So I went and bought a book, The Spiral Circle, and it was like one of Abraham's first books. It was called Abraham Speaks. And I was reading it and I was like, I was totally misaligned. I was like, this isn't live with passion and go, go, go and achieve your goals. And I was out of frequency with it.
Right.
And then someone gave me a cassette tape and I started listening and I was like, I was ready for it. And then all of a sudden I started listening to more and more. And I was like, oh my God, that was like, going from Tony Robbins to Abraham, that was like the bridge in learning that, stop efforting, stop trying so hard, stop checking all the boxes, start enjoying the journey, lighten up, have more fun. Nothing's more important than feeling good. It's like, of course.
Dude, same. And I have the funniest manifestation story around Esther, and it's this. So I'm sitting here, I'm listening to Abraham like crazy. It was part of my dog walk routine. It's like, I've got 1 hour to 2 hours a day at least in dog walks. And I started listening once I'd found her to this YouTube video after YouTube video. And I was saying the piece that I am struggling with the most in the manifestation process is the letting go of the expectations of what the outcome should look like. And so what ended up happening was I had this interesting morning routine where I would go hike with this client. I was living out in San Diego. We'd have this beautiful hike in Torrey Pines overlooking the ocean.
Oh, how nice.
And I'd be coaching him and we would judge. The only metric we would use to judge the success of the coaching session was how often he would slow down and take pictures. If he had 15, 20 pictures over the hour,
Okay.
he's in the right place. If he has no pictures, he's stuck in his head, not in his heart. And it was a very clear thing I could look at and be like, hey, just so you know, you only took 3 pictures today. Let's center you before we start.
Right.
We'd finish the hike and he would treat me to a juice at this little cafe in Del Mar that our buddy Randy owns. And what's so funny is the waitress knew I was into all this stuff and into Abraham Hicks. So every time we'd come in, she'd be like, you just missed her. Esther was here. This is her spot.
Wow.
And you just missed her. And we would come back and be like 2 days later, the waitress would be working. Oh, you just missed Esther. And so I started going like, whoa, I really want to meet her. I'm going to manifest this here. And I'm like, you're going to do it. But I couldn't let go of the, that expectation. So I'm driving there. And every time I drive there, I'd program, you're going to see her. You need to see her. You're going to boom. You just missed her. You just missed her. Oh, she was here yesterday afternoon. And this was, her regular jam when she was living in Del Mar was to go to this same restaurant. And it never manifested until finally I move out here to Colorado. I let go of it all.
Right.
My client reaches out to me. She's like, hey, Abraham Hicks is going to be out in Westminster speaking at this hotel. Let's get some tickets and go. And I just started laughing. I'm like, I let go of the expectation. Right. And she's 15 minutes away speaking. We sat right there, listened and connected. And I was like, oh, I forgot the last part of that manifestation process, which is letting go of the expectations of how the outcome should look.
Yes.
How has that piece been for you? Has that been a hard one for you in the manifestation process? Or by keeping in play, have you been pretty good with just going with the flow?
Yeah, I definitely had to learn to let go. And I love that story. And I've got a cool story I can share in a moment about Esther. And so like letting go of the how it should look, that's a big thing. Because our brain can only see so much, and we want to see, it needs to be, the business needs to look like this. The relationship needs to look like this. But our higher mind can see something way better than we can see. So this is why it's an emotional journey. This is why you don't grind it out. You got to find the joy. You got to enjoy the meantime, the journey, which is so cliche, but it's still so relevant and so important.
Right.
You really got to enjoy the journey. And so the thing you want to focus on, and one of my phrases that I came up with over the years is it's feeling first, manifestation second. You got to feel that alignment first and just get satisfied, be grateful, be appreciative as much as you can. That's enough of a feeling that the universe can fill in the gaps and give you the specifics. So you really got to say, because we're always after, the only reason we want anything is because how it's going to make us feel.
Right.
So we've got to remember it's an emotional journey. Planet Earth is a school of emotions. And that's why it's so challenging, because we feel all these different emotions. We're on a roller coaster. We're up, we're down. We want the thing so we can feel better. And you got to start feeling it in advance. Feeling first, manifestation second.
I love it. So we're feeling first, kind of like the nice little gift that you gave me here, which is I am the universe pretending to be human.
I love that coffee mug.
It's beautiful, man. And it is such a beautiful piece. But so you're saying like, okay, as I am the universe pretending to be human, like we are actors in this play right now, pieces of the universe pretending to be Andy and Kyle have a conversation in front of this mic right now. That to me is a beautiful way to stop taking yourself so seriously.
Yeah.
I feel our whole system, from the second we go from this imaginative little kid into the school system, seriousness is like the greatest prize. Can you be serious? Can you pay attention? Can you regurgitate this thing back to me so I know you were paying attention to me? Did you struggle as a kid with that?
Yeah, it was hard. I was the creative type. I mean, I remember being held back in, I think it was 3rd and 4th grade. I was the one taken out of the classroom and went into the broom closet with a special tutor and was helped to read.
Yeah.
And, I want to just play, but then I was like, I had to, quote unquote, get serious.
Right.
And get the grades. And, so I was able to find that the balance of the creativity side with the intellect. And, actually algebra really did help me focus my mind. And I really liked algebra. It really did help me.
Right. Well, what's interesting is there's the two pathways to the same thing, which are love, which is kind of the right way, the right brain way,
Right.
and mathematics, which can all,
Yeah.
right? If you look at astrology, if you look at numerology, both of them can get you to that same answer, which is we are the universe experiencing itself.
Yes.
What's really interesting that I'm noticing is that when people are on a spiritual path,
Right.
they think it needs the same seriousness as school.
Oh, yeah.
You aren't taking spirituality serious enough. But the greatest wisdom I had in my spiritual journey came when I was in college. My mom came in town. I had my yellow pad of paper sitting here, like the old notebook pads. And we were going to go see the Dalai Lama talk.
Wow.
And I'm like, I'm going to capture every bit of wisdom, right? I
Right.
didn't have a little tape recorder or anything. I'm in college. And she shows up and the dude just starts, it's like he's doing a stand-up thing. And he just starts cracking joke after joke after joke. And I was like, oh. And when I've watched the most spiritually enlightened people, they're hilarious and they're childlike. Have you found that on your journey of like, I want to stay in this lightness, right? Light.
Yeah.
There's no coincidence
lighten up.
in the use of words of I am light and I am lighthearted.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I
have
have
you
found that, the more lighthearted you are, the more you can receive the guidance, the inspiration. And we have to give that to ourselves. We've got to lighten up. We're bombarded every day with so much coming at us, so much negativity, the social media thing. We've got to, it also benefits us because it makes us be more deliberate about our input.
Right.
And about our reaction to reality, because we can react. It's our reaction so often that is keeping us stuck because we're living in reality reaction mode. It's I wrote a simple book, a free PDF that I give out. It's called The 5 Biggest Manifestation Blocks. And one of the number one blocks is what is reality holds you hostage. The very thing we create holds us hostage because most of us, and I read this in your book, the quote from Napoleon Hill, that 98% of us are living in reaction.
Yes.
Instead of being response-able, instead of being deliberate. And so what is reality? We're reacting to it. And so we're always bouncing off of it and then saying that needs to change. This needs to change. Everything needs to change so then I can feel better. But you've got to feel better first on the inside, and then the reality starts changing.
Yes. I love that. And I think one of the most important pieces in that process is what I like to call lengthening your fuse.
Oh,
right?
Good. Yes.
So
yeah.
it's like we have this ticking bomb inside of us, like our
Right.
patience bomb. And we can say, what am I doing to lengthen my fuse? For me, having an 11-year-old and an 18-year-old, 2 middle schoolers, which is like the worst time of the programming, right? It's like, can we just get done with this? This is like, my interesting spiritual opportunity of embodiment is like, where's my fuse? And where can I not be reactive, especially in the morning, getting them out the door to make sure they get there on time.
Right.
And that is why I have an alarm that goes off every morning, 5:28, right? Okay. Which is the love frequency. That's when I wake up.
Of course.
And I go meditate at 5:28. And it's like, if I did not do that morning meditation, that little fuse doesn't exist.
Right.
And all of a sudden I'm like, fee, fi, fo, fo. Get to school or I will smash you.
Yeah.
So for you, there's a lot of different pieces and practices that you've done along these to create that awareness. Tell me a little bit about the monk and the samurai and how that all interrelates into this.
Oh, yeah. The monk and the samurai is such a great story for this. Okay. So once upon a time, there was a fierce samurai warrior, big, loud, used to getting what he wanted. And he's getting older and he's starting to ponder his mortality. And he's heard about heaven and hell, but he doesn't know. So he's walking through the village one day and he sees this monk peacefully meditating under a tree. Walks over to the monk and says, "Hey, monk, I want you to teach me about heaven and hell." There's this long, awkward pause. The monk finally opens his eyes and says, "You want me to teach you about heaven and hell? You're too dumb. You're a disgrace to the samurai class. Be gone. The samurai feels disrespect. The disrespect turns to anger. The anger turns into rage. He unsheathed his sword and he's going to kill this monk. And right then and there, the monk says, now that is hell. Oof. The samurai froze. And he realized that this monk practically sacrificed his life to teach him what is hell. The samurai switches his energy and goes into gratitude and appreciation, puts down the sword, falls to his knees, his eyes well up with tears, and he looks the monk in the eye, and the monk says, now that is heaven.
Mm.
You see, heaven and hell aren't places. They're states of being. And it's our reaction to the circumstances that determine whether we're creating hell in our body, in our life, or we're creating heaven. And so every day, in your morning and your kids, you wake up, am I going to be the monk today? Or am I going to be the samurai warrior?
Right.
And when you react and you get in that anger and frustration, you just walk through the gates of hell. And when you pause and you respond with kindness and love, you're creating heaven on earth.
There has not been one moment where I have looked at me being the samurai in a reflective state and said, oh, me raising my voice actually got me what I want. Sometimes it's got me 2 middle fingers up. And I look at my kid in that moment and I was like, yeah, I'd flip that guy off too. But it's just pulling back, becoming the observer. And it's not about perfection. It's about awareness and saying, hey, just like anything else in life, because for this situation, we're choosing the most complex school ever on earth. Yes. And we're choosing the expert level of this video game of life. There's an awareness of like, okay, I need to be compassionate to myself that sometimes I'm the monk, sometimes I'm the samurai. And in general, I will do much better as the monk. And it's hard sometimes to stay in that state. And, the turn the other cheek concept when somebody's pelting you. Do you find there are times in your life and in your journey where you say the fun, the play, the joy in this moment needs to take a back seat to harmonize that do no harm, take no shit?
Yeah, there are times where, you need to get shit done. And, it's trying, meeting deadlines or things didn't go the way you wanted to do. So now you got to redo it or recreate something. And, that's part of knowing like that's going to happen.
Right.
And it's, again, that opportunity to respond, say, all right, this needs to get done. I can do it. This is what's expected of me. I'm going to meet my expectations and I'm going to get it done. And, I'm going to make the best of this.
Right.
Just that simple, that mindset going into just acknowledging, okay, I've gotten triggered. There's got to get stuff done. The kids got to get to work. I got to get going. Expressing that, sharing that.
And the quicker we get to harmony, the quicker we get the result we want. Because again, if we're in fight, flight, freeze and everything is in our extremities and we can only see like this and we don't have the periphery, the longer it takes for us to get back to ease instead of dis-ease, the more time we are wasting in our 3D experience to actually then go out, build, and create the results we want.
Yeah. Yeah. Rapid harmony. I love that name. This podcast, it's great. Rapid harmony. Because we want, like, the quicker we can get back to harmony and alignment. And there's a great phrase I've been using a lot. It's observe it, don't absorb it.
Oof. I love that. Observe it, don't absorb it.
Yeah. And being less reactive. This is one of the things I'm teaching with my clients and my membership of being less reactive to the drama. Because we want to react. We want to shake our fists and point the finger and say, you need to change. You need to be different so I can feel better. But it's a trap.
Yeah.
And so you've got to continue to practice, be less reactive. Yeah. And remember that everything is neutral until you decide what it means.
So metrics for that. What one of the metrics I came up with that really aligns with this when I was kind of looking at, I was in the physical transformation space forever with fitness and nutrition for celebs and pro athletes, and everybody would focus on the stupid scale. So I wrote the book, How Much Does a Zebra Weigh? And the answer is, who gives a shit? Zebra would see a scale, sniff it, find it useless, and defecate on it. So don't judge your success based on it.
Right.
And so we were looking at all the metrics and like, okay, body fat percentage and this, but I was looking at this happiness piece and metric, and I saw a statistic that blew my mind one day, and I made it a core value of my business. And it was that the average adult versus the average kid, that the average kid laughs 400 times a day and the average adult laughs 4.
Yeah.
In that moment, I said, well, that's failure. F adulting. I'm going to be a kid, and my goal is to be diagnosed with Peter Pan syndrome.
Yeah, me too.
Not that I'm not a balanced, harmonized adult who can parent, etc., run businesses, but I don't want that seriousness. So in the midst of the dark night of the soul and that part of the hero's journey right now, people are going through a lot of change, and we're here to serve as these lighthearted bridges.
Yeah.
What do you think is a good way for somebody, again, to get out of their head, into their heart, into their play, and not take that spiritual journey so stressful and so serious?
Breathing is really the fastest way. To be conscious enough to breathe and slow down your breathing and just become present and honor. Okay, that just triggered me. I want to turn into a samurai right now, because I've been the samurai. I've been the one proving and swinging swords at people who didn't deserve it. And I've also been the monk. Right. And I've learned now that, the breath is the quickest way to get back into your heart. Breathe, brain heart coherence, inhale for 5, exhale for 5, and just acknowledge, yep, that got me. That's still triggering me. I'm giving my power away to that. I'm playing the victim, because that'll light a fire under your butt real quick. It's like, I'm a victim to this. I'm not going to be a victim to this situation, to this person, to the political scene. I'm not going to be a victim to that. I'm going to bring the love and light to the world. And I can't do that if I'm the samurai. So breathing is the quickest way.
And I believe the higher vibrational consciousnesses that are coming into our space always have a very similar aligned message on that ease and that joy and that play and getting back to that as quick as possible. Tell me a little bit about the Abraham Rain situation.
Yeah, there's a great story. Jerry and Esther Hicks had bought a new home in San Antonio, Texas. And that summer, there was a severe drought. And, the city's on water restrictions and the aquifer is getting lower and lower. And they bought their new beautiful home and they're sitting on the front porch. And Esther's noticing that the oak trees on the property look really thirsty. And the grass is brown and dry and the earth is dry and cracked. And she doesn't like what she sees. And so she says to Abraham, I want some rain. Abraham, I want some rain. Abraham said, why? And she said, well, clearly, the trees need water. The earth is brown. Everything is dry. I don't like the conditions. That's why I want it. Like, it needs relief. Abraham said, this is profound. You just told us why it is not going to rain. So Esther knows the teachings of Abraham and quickly did a 180. And she said, oh. And Abraham said again, why do you want it to rain? And so she changed her tune. She did a 180. She said, oh, I want the rain because it's refreshing. I want the rain because I love the smell and feel of it in the air. I want the rain because it's delicious. And right then and there, not 5 minutes later, not 10, 20 minutes later, right then and there, it started to rain. And there was blue skies. Jerry and Esther looked at each other in amazement that it just started to rain. Now, is this a coincidence or is this the power of alignment with what you desire? Because the universe is ready to reveal to you, give you what you want when you get into alignment.
Yes.
This is the art of being a deliberate creator. And so when Esther changed her story, because she was like, change the conditions. I don't like what I'm seeing and experiencing, and then I'll feel better. Abraham said, no, it doesn't work that way. You feel better. You are the tree. You are the sun, the moon, and the stars. You feel better, and then it will change. So when she lined up with it and had zero resistance, no pushing against, the universe has to reveal it. It has to give you what you're asking for.
That is everything. Truly. And that is the thing that we see so often. You know, I see when clients are coming to me where it's like the brain is looping over and over and over. And so many people, their identity becomes the struggle.
The identity,
right?
yes.
Like, I am a Weight Watcher. Like, I watch my weight. I'm like, why? Why? And getting to that simple question that the little kids understand so well, but the adults get really angry if you question them. Why? And is this serving me or not? Is a way better question to start asking. This BS, this belief system part, which I think Tony had great. with that, it's like, is this belief system BS? Is this even serving me anymore? Of like, I want this, I need this right now. And that is not in right relationship. And I'm curious, your thoughts, what do you think is happening when the brain and the body, or in the brain and the body, when someone just keeps repeating that old, painful story? Why? Why do they keep repeating that old, painful story?
Because it's what they know. It's their home. And we get addicted to our personality, and we think that's who we are. We think we have to struggle. We think we have to suffer our way there. And that's what the looping is. And that's why breathwork and meditation and practicing gratitude, you start shifting your energy before the conditions change. So we're also very conditioned that the circumstances need to be better for us to feel better. Right. And so it's just, we're addicted to our own story. We're addicted to those emotions of the frustration, the anger, the overwhelm.
So let's get a little granular. And if somebody's stuck in the loop of like, nothing ever works for me.
Yeah.
How do you help them rewrite that script?
Okay. So if they're like, it doesn't work, I'm stuck in this hole. And that's where you've got to, get neutral. Just get neutral, neutralize it, just honor, okay, that's what I'm feeling. The negative emotion means you're lying to yourself. Means you're lying. You're telling a lie that's out of alignment with the truth of who you are. You're a manifestation of the divine. You're the universe pretending to be human. You're dreaming your life into existence. So you're forgetting that. And we set the game up to forget it so we could play the game.
Right.
So anyway, it is what it is. And so that's where you've got to start telling a new story. And so a tool that helps, that I've developed over the years. So here you are, I'm stuck, I'm frustrated, it's not working. Right. And then you try to tell, we make a mistake of telling a big leap.
Right.
I'm now abundant. I've lost the weight. I've manifested my soulmate. And your brain says, bullshit, you're broke.
Right.
So it's too big of a jump. So 3 magic words: beginning, becoming, and allowing. So you say, I'm beginning to tell a better story. I'm beginning to feel better about my situation. I'm beginning, because the brain hears that and goes, it's believable. I can feel a little shift in energy. I'm beginning to make the best of things. I'm beginning to enjoy the journey. Becoming, I'm becoming more optimistic. I'm becoming more grateful. I'm becoming more focused on what I do want. Allowing, I'm allowing it to be easy. I'm allowing myself to forgive. I'm allowing myself to feel better. Beginning, becoming, and allowing. The transition story bridges this gap.
I love that, because we need evidence. Our left brain needs evidence, and no part of us is broken. We set the game up as the universe to have all of these different pieces, and they serve their purpose. It doesn't mean you make the water boy the starting quarterback, though, right? That little amygdala, you don't say, hey, yeah, let's give you the ball right now. As you go, yeah. But it all serves its own purpose. And I think looking at that, one of the biggest keys that we could lean into in those moments is just going, okay, if you're at a point right now that you really think things like affirmations, mirror work, any one of these things is BS, the first question I think that they need to have that awareness is look in the mirror and just say, what tools am I using? Is it alcohol? Is it drugs? Is it yelling at my wife and kids? What are my current tools? Because we are all playing the game and we are all using tools in this moment. But I think the first pullback that I say is like, okay, great. I think these things are BS. I always say, how's that working out for you?
Right, you're thinking 70,000 thoughts a day,
right?
And why not think some better thoughts?
So why do you think people think that is a realist? Like that's the defense answer I get a lot is somebody's like, well, I'm a realist.
Yeah, you're facing what is. Again, that's what is reality. We didn't come to face reality. We came to create reality. Now we need reality as a reflection to get data and go, okay, that's what I don't want. And me telling the story of, it doesn't work for me. I'm broken. I've tried everything. The world's out against me. That you're thinking those thoughts, you're perpetuating that emotion because it's how you feel is how you're attracting. So you're perpetuating that story and that emotional. And that's why telling a different story oftentimes is hard for people. And that's why the transition story, beginning, becoming, and allowing, gets people to ease into the believability of a new story.
I love that. And I want to double down on those words real quick that you said, because they're so potent. And if you're listening right now, feel into this. You did not come to face reality. You came to create reality.
Yeah.
And that's huge. And I know you created something called vibration activation. So for somebody who's listening at this idea for the first time, what is it?
All right. So it's 3 core steps. And the first step is just being aware of the story you've got in your head, like the thoughts you're thinking. And when you find yourself, what I call on the bitch train, there's the bitch train, which is negative thinking, complaining. And then there's the bliss train, which is complimenting, appreciating, right? 2 different trains going in opposite directions, way different results. So when you catch yourself on the bitch train, you say, stop, cancel, clear, get the fear or get the F out of here. So you got to deliberately, consciously say, wait a minute, these thoughts are not serving me. These thoughts are creating hell. These thoughts are hurtful. Like people just got to understand that. Thoughts are things. Thoughts are powerful. The more you think a thought, that thought gains momentum, it gains energy, it becomes a belief, it becomes a story, it becomes your identity, it becomes your reality. So you got to just be aware. I'm on that bitch train again. I'm being the samurai. I'm a victim in my own movie. Stop, cancel, clear. Get the victimhood out of here. But it's being conscious enough to know when I get on that bitch train, I'm not serving anybody and I'm sabotaging myself. So that's the awareness. Stop, cancel, clear, get the fear out of here. Then ask questions. Questions get you back in the prefrontal cortex instead of in the back lizard brain.
Right.
And now you're like, okay, well, what can I appreciate? What is the gift in this? Just asking those questions changes the focus because what you focus on, you're going to feel. How you feel is how you attract.
Right.
So step 1, stop the negative train of thought. Step 2, tell the transition story. Okay, I'm beginning to catch myself. I'm beginning to make peace with where I'm at. I'm beginning to make the best of it. I am becoming more conscious. I'm becoming more playful. I'm becoming more optimistic. Even though I want to fight and go back to the old way, I'm allowing myself to feel better. Even though the conditions haven't changed, I'm allowing myself to find relief. So then you tell the transition story, step 2. Step 3 is a triad. And you can start with, wouldn't it be nice, which is a tool from Abraham Hicks. Wouldn't it be nice if I figured this out? Wouldn't it be nice if I created a new identity? Wouldn't it be nice if I got a better job? Wouldn't it be nice if I was less reactive? That's right. I'm becoming less reactive. That's right. I'm telling a better story. That's right. I'm feeling better about myself. That's right. I'm showing up consistently. That's right. I'm being gentle with myself. That's right. That's right. And then you go in the meantime. So the triad of step 3 is, wouldn't it be nice? That's right. In the meantime. So in the meantime brings you back to the present moment.
Right.
In the meantime, I have a lot to be grateful for. In the meantime, I'm celebrating the little wins. In the meantime, I'm listening to podcasts like Rapid Harmony. In the meantime, I'm eating better food. In the meantime, I'm looking for the gifts. I'm enjoying the journey.
I love that triad. And on that last step there, the in the meantime, I really look at that piece as the necessity to be your own greatest cheerleader.
Right.
There's part of the journey that is really, exciting and liberating and also humbling and kind of disappointing. That's the same exact moment, which is nobody cares. 99% of this whole movie is only playing out in your own head. Everyone else is walking around with their own movie.
Right.
And that is both like the most liberating thing and also like a little humbling thing to like, well, what is she thinking about me? This, she's not thinking about you. She's thinking about her own story.
Right.
And we tend not to realize that until like a 10-year high school reunion. When you run into somebody and you're like, you were this and this and this. I'm like, well, I didn't see myself that way. I saw myself as this and this and this.
Right.
It's that like perception is reality. And it's all through the lens of the individual and where they're at. And a lot of people will look at those pieces and say, well, that's hard and that's hard and that's hard. And to me, I look at it and I say, like, choose your hard. Like, it sounds to me so hard to be so miserable and heavy all the time.
Yeah.
Where do you go about that process and look at like these within that, vibration activation as those main ingredients and the awareness of like your thoughts and your words and your actions are so important and you are the William Shakespeare writing the play? Like, to me, it seems so hard to be the opposite. So if somebody's just getting newly introduced to the idea that your thoughts, your words, everything you're doing is writing your own script that is existing in your head and then playing out in front of you, where do you think they should begin? Do you think that 3-step process is a great beginning step to take them from where they are to where they want to be?
I do. There's a lot of great processes, and maybe this is the one that they're tuning in and they're hearing and go, okay, I can do that. I can be conscious enough to know when I start bitching and complaining and pointing the finger, playing the blame game, I can say, stop, cancel, clear, get the fear out of here. Or I can say, stop, cancel, clear, all my love is here. So have that awareness. Step 2, start telling a transition story. I'm beginning to catch myself. I'm beginning to feel better. I'm beginning to make the best of it, becoming allowing. And then pick any one of the, the that's rights. I really do love the that's rights because that's just firing and wiring.
I think it's so beautiful. And part of that first step that does relate very well with, alcohol or drugs or anonymous, any of those sort of situations is admitting you have a problem. And in relationships, for example, I think it's very interesting as people are always saying, there's nobody good out there and there's no people who are kind and everybody's this, and they're putting that projection on. And the first step of admitting like, well, where are you currently is typically the hardest step.
It is.
Are you being the person you would want to go on a first date with, let alone a second?
Yeah. Yeah, you talk about that in your book. Your book is awesome. I've been reading it, so it's really good. And you talk about like, evaluate yourself. Where are you? Would you go on a date with you? Would you fall in love with you?
It's such an interesting way to just flip the mirror around here. It's like you're pointing one finger at me, you're pointing 3 back at yourself.
Yeah, I love that.
But it creates the most incredible liberation because then you can be like, wait a minute. Once a this, always a this is garbage. It's nonsense. Like once a cheater, always a cheater. Once an a-hole, always an a-hole. Is like maybe that version of you, but you don't have to be that same actor in the play anymore.
Yeah, that is part of this whole great awakening that you literally get to change your identity. You get to tell a different story. Even that's right. It's just, that's right. I'm going to tell a better story. That's right. I'm going to make the best of what I got. That's right. I'm going to be honest with myself. That's right. I'm going to attract that special soulmate. I've got a funny soulmate, how to manifest your soulmate.
Yes. Tell me. I want to hear.
Okay, so if you want to mess your, this is like the call 1-800 kind of infomercial back in the day.
Yes.
So anybody out there listening and you want to manifest your soulmate, here's the secret. Because I tried everything to manifest my soulmate. Online dating, chakra alignment, cocaine, and I finally found the secret, Kyle.
Okay.
Lowering your standards.
Aha. So it's like if you show up and you're like, well, when I was manifesting you, you were 6'2", not 5'11" and 3/4. So, hey, you're out.
Yeah. So here's the thing for lowering your standards. And again, this is comedy. Okay. So with lowering your standards, you will radically increase the likelihood of manifesting your soulmate who is a hot mess and wants you to go to therapy. Say goodbye to high expectations and say hello to someone who thinks foreplay is putting on deodorant. With lowering your standards, not only will you manifest your soulmate, but a roommate who never pays rent. Need someone to text you 17 times a day? With lowering your standards, that's guaranteed. Try lowering your standards because manifesting your soulmate and blaming them for all your problems is true love. Order today and receive your free book, How to Lower Your Standards Without Feeling Guilty. Call 1-800-HOT-MESS.
Oh my God, I love it. And it's cheaper than a Russian mail order ride. So
yeah,
I think this is you're onto something if you're looking for a business partner in this new manifestation.
Right. Yeah, just lower your standards. It works, I promise.
Is there a 30-day money-back guarantee for this or no?
Absolutely. 60-day.
Right. You can pay me double as long as you don't call the complaint hotline. You can get your money back, right?
Absolutely.
Because funding that complaint hotline is going to be really expensive business expense, right?
Yeah.
So switching the energy for a minute here.
Okay.
So life is not all jokes and good vibes. Sometimes we hit some pretty heavy stuff.
Oh, we do. Yeah.
And how do you honor real grief, anxiety, and pain without collapsing into it? So this could be within your own life as well as, when you're holding space for people.
Yeah. So it's understanding emotions to begin with. And that's understanding that, and this is a framing from some of the channeled material from Bashar and Abraham and some of that. Yeah. I know there's a lot of people talk about emotions and what emotions, and there's a lot of controversy and so I see and believe, this is what I believe, that emotions really are our guidance. It's like the gas gauge on your car. When your gas gauge is going to empty, you don't beat yourself up. You don't say, I'm an idiot. You're just like, okay, I need to fill up. So when I feel negative, when I go through grief, my mom and dad, they both died. I felt that. I grieved that. And I allowed myself to feel that. It's so beautiful to feel grief or loss. And to just go and just be like, yeah, I'm human. And I'm feeling it's the illusion of loss because nobody dies and we're actors in the movie. But it's fun to be in the movie and cry and wail. Like I did the reselfing thing here in Boulder, sharing your whole life story. And I wept like a baby over things I couldn't even understand. But I was just moving through it and not judging myself for it.
Yes.
That's a big part of it. Don't judge yourself for crying, for being sad, for going into the depression. It's okay. And it's just your higher self saying, hey, you're not seeing the situation the way we're seeing it. Because of course your higher self is seeing everything as an opportunity for growth, to expand, to have more compassion. You know how much more compassion I have for other people because I've been through some shit?
Yes.
It's like, man, I can now show up with compassion. I can be the monk that has compassion and kindness, and I can give them a hug, and I've been there. I know what it's like to be, I had a business partner embezzle money from me. I've been cheated on. I've had my heart broken, and it's like, yes, I'm living.
Yes,
I'm living life. I love this.
It's like the other list that needs a name. So we have the bucket list, right? Put the 50 things on your bucket list. Maybe it's like the oh fuck it list, where it's like this is my list of things that I have gone through to go, wow, these are the things that I've used as my fuel to create the superpower of compassion and the appreciation and joy and bliss for everything that we're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fuel. And knowing that also, we talk about manifestation, and I've been this past year, I've been shifting it's not about manifesting, because manifesting is automatic. You are already, and everybody listening to this is already the most powerful manifester that's ever existed. You're literally creating reality. You are the sun and the moon. So you don't have to try to be a better manifester. Instead of trying to manifest, focus on state of being, mastering your emotional state of being, which comes back to, am I reacting or am I responding? It's state of being that matters. State of being that creates reality. And so when you let go of trying to manifest the things and you focus on state of being and just let it unfold, then life gets really magical.
Right. I really doubled down on that in my book, which is Gandhi's Be the Change You Want to See in the World, and Michael Jackson's I'm Looking at the Man in the Mirror. Right. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make the change. That's profound. It's not just some cool little thing in a song, but it's that is, that's prophetic.
It is prophetic. Yeah. We've got to, reality is a mirror. We're always getting a reflection, and that's beautiful. And to honor that there is stuff out there that you don't want to see, but you stay neutral, and then you decide. Nothing affects you until you choose to be affected. Now, we have triggers, right? But it's our job to work on our triggers and look for the gift, or say, you know what? I don't have to stare at that thing that troubles me. I'm going to go create magic. I'm going to go make the world a better place.
So can you share a time when someone's external circumstances didn't really change right away, but their inner experience shifted in a way that changed everything?
Their external...
So it's they didn't get the result instantaneously like a lottery ticket, but they went through the change of really trying to embody this high vibrational being.
Yeah, I think of a client who I've been working with last year. She's new into real estate. She'd been in the printing business for quite some time and decided to get into real estate. And we all know real estate can be really challenging, and it takes a really certain kind of person to be able to read people and to understand. There's a lot of skills if you're going to be a successful real estate agent. So of course she went into it guns blazing and made all the mistakes. And so on our coaching calls, it was always bringing her back into alignment, working on the transition story, not overreacting to the situations. And, so at first things weren't changing too quickly, and she got some listings and they were all the mistakes. But she learned quickly. The contrast brought her clarity. And now she's one of the top real estate agents in in her group, whatever the business is. Nice. And she was just on the Tut Wow tour to the Greek islands. She brought her daughter, and now she's getting $1 million listings, and she's playing a whole different game. And now she's made alignment the priority instead of grinding it out. Alignment, joy, having fun, and choosing the client she wants to work with instead of just being desperate for anybody with a listing,
I think she learned the secret magic behind the name real estate is really switching into a real state.
Oh, dude. Let me give you money on that one.
She got into the state and everything shifted.
Yeah, state of being is everything.
So I've got some quick ones for you.
Okay.
What is one belief about manifestation that you had to completely rewrite in yourself?
That it's not about the thing. It's about the emotional journey to the thing. The thing just gives you something to focus on.
Yes.
But it's not about the thing. It's the emotional journey, the spiritual journey to the thing.
And what about a time where your sense of humor saved the day?
Yeah, there's been a lot of times where I was able to crack the joke, and nice. I don't have a specific moment right now, but
it's something you've noticed.
But it's something I've definitely noticed to bring levity to a stressful situation, or just to speak the truth of what's going on. Just say the elephant in the room is what it is. Right now, I don't have anything to say. I wish I had something funny to say. It's the truth of the moment. And sometimes just the truth of the moment can bring relief.
That is beautiful. I like to say my vision for this version of Kyle is to have not only no skeletons in my closet, but have no closet whatsoever. And it doesn't mean everybody gets past the front welcome mat.
Right.
It's not welcome everyone. It's like welcome if you're in a particular vibe where you're here to play. But like if you're here to like collect taxes or something, I don't want you to show up to my house, or you're here to like break stuff. Like, no, you're not welcome in. It's kind of like a die and come back better sort of energy from it. Like,
can you go reincarnate and come back?
Right. And it doesn't mean they have to physically die, but can they at least like kill that version of themselves that's like, I need to find everything that is wrong in this environment. It's like that version of manifestation. So what is one daily practice that keeps your vibe high even when life is messy?
Meditation in the morning, matcha green tea. I have a deck of activation cards, like flashcards, and I have my favorite quotes. Stop and name 3 things you're grateful for. So I go through my deck of activation cards that immediately shift my energy.
And what about a simple phrase you use to interrupt negative thinking in real time?
Yeah, stop, cancel, clear, get the F out of here.
I love that. I'm gonna take that. I will quote you on it. I will put a little dash Andy Dooley.
Okay.
So you get quoted on it. I love it.
Yeah.
And what about a moment of synchronicity that still makes you smile when you think about it?
Oh, it was you're a part of the synchronicity. Okay, so I did the reselfing thing, and I was at the Castle Grace, and I was like, they have these lion prints everywhere, and I was like, oh, I do the Lion King. It's like, but I kind of shelved it, and it's and I was like, oh, they would love it, they would appreciate it.
Yes.
So I told them, hey, I want to come back and I want to do my Lion King for you guys, and they're like, great. So we set up a date and we did it, and it was amazing. And then I saw a post from Michael about your event.
Yes.
And then I reached out to you and I saw it looked like an open mic kind of thing. And I was like, hey, I'd love to perform or do something there. And I was like, hey, I do the Lion King. And you're like, you do the Lion King. And hey, I want you to join this group. And then we get on the Zoom call, and then you're like, hey, January, we're going to kick it off, and I want you to do the Lion King. And I'm just like, oh my God, that was a beautiful synchronicity.
If somebody's listening at home right now, what I want them to understand with synchronicity is a lot of times with synchronicity, it's very similar to a vulture just circling around something,
right,
waiting for that moment to step in.
Yeah.
And I feel like with the universe, we've had that spiral where you and I have probably been in similar rooms at similar times between Gaia, between Abraham Hicks, between different events, between different gatherings. Your name has popped up a lot of times where it's like, we had a mutual friend who's a member of our community be like, oh, you're doing a channeling thing. Is it cool if I bring Andy? I'm like, yes.
Right.
And it's like this incredible circling of alignment, and then everything in divine timing of letting go of the expectation. So what that moment was just natural harmony, which is like symbiosis in the universe, where I read the book for part of the book, release party, which we're doing part 2. And that's where we're going to do Lion King.
Yeah.
And I sat there and inspired action. Dr. Sam came up to me and was like, hey, I got this little stand-up comedy bit that I do, on being neurodivergent and neurospicy on the Boulderites. Like, can I perform that? I'm like, of course.
Yeah.
We got open mic. And then Marnie was like, hey, I have my song coming out the same exact day, my new single, and it's all spiritually aligned with everything around trusting yourself. And I was like, great. And what I really think people at home who are listening should lean into is this idea of like, your life should be like Mad Libs.
It should.
Where you just pull all these people and synchronicities together, and that makes the journey fun. So for a listener who's feeling burnout or they're disappointed that manifesting hasn't really worked for them yet, what is one simple thing they could do today to begin shifting their story?
Make peace with where they are. First, just make peace. This is where I am. I've been struggling. It's been hard. I don't know what works. Is it manifestation? What should I do? So make peace with where you are, because that brings relief. Mm-hmm. And then say, all right, just tune in. Trust like going back to your book, trust yourself. Like, what is the thing? What's that voice telling you? Who do you need to call? What book do you need to read? What action step do you need to take? Because action is a big part of all this. And so The answer's inside of you.
Beautiful. And so if somebody, first off, thank you so much for coming today. And if somebody wants to follow your journey, what's the easiest way to get a hold of you?
Yeah, andydooley.com. And you can take my free quiz on the website to find out where it's there's 5 manifestation blocks, and you take the quiz and you find out where you're blocking yourself. And you can follow me on all the socials, Andy Dooley.
I love it. So what I hope landed today is that manifestation is not about just pushing harder or pretending everything is fine. It's about telling a truer, kinder story about your life and letting your body feel that new reality. And Andy, you really remind us that laughter is not just a distraction from work. It's this healing by opening the doorway, and that when we lighten our grip and we play with our thoughts and we choose a better story, your vibration changes. And then when that vibration changes, life really is a room full of surprises. So thank you for coming on. This was a heck of a lot of fun.
Thank you, Kyle. This is rock. I love it.
Awesome. Well, thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, my friend. If this episode sparked something in you, don't just wander off into the abyss of the internet. Hit subscribe so you can actually get the good stuff when it drops. And if you're feeling generous or mildly enlightened, leave some love in a review. It takes just 30 seconds, and somehow it feeds the algorithm gods so they notice and more people who really need it. Now, if you want to step deeper into my world, rapidharmony.com is where the real magic lives. Coaching, community, rituals, and a few surprises that are way better than just scrolling around another motivational reel and not doing anything about it. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being you. And remember, your inner harmony isn't hiding. It's just waiting for you to pay attention. I'll see you on the next episode. Now go subscribe before you forget.